Okay, so let's take a look of some games we played last week or the week before last week. So the first game we play white, and so our opponent is like Krem 1994. So this is Petrov defense, and we played knight c3. That's okay. We defending the pawn. That's okay. And we can also play knight e5. And if black play d6, we need to move knight back and take our pawn. We play d4. So this is like the book move. And I will come to the um, we'll come to the opening in some later lessons, but I want to show what is the correct move. So sometimes black mistakenly take our e4 pawn after we take e5, and we can attack the knight with our queen. And if the knight goes to f6, we can use discover attack. So we check the king and attack the queen. And if black block the check, we can take the queen. We can win the queen. So basically, that's how it works. So the correct move for black is push pawn to d6, and we play knight back. If the knight takes our pawn, and if we pin the knight, in this case, black can protect the knight in a safe way. So this is some knowledge of the Petrov defense, but we played knight c3, and we turn the game into three knights game. We have three knights developed. b6. Take the pawn. That's good. We have won the pawn. Bishop b5. So I think the purpose of bishop b7 is targeting out e4, and it's good to protect the center pawn. And bishop b5 looks aggressive. We are attacking d7, but the problem is black has like 3-4 pieces protecting the pawn, and we cannot really take the pawn. So if we take the pawn, we'll lose a knight. We are just exchanging the pawn with a knight. That's a loss for us. So black plays c6. We play bishop back a bit. That's good. And d5. So black is attacking our center. And I think it is pretty okay to exchange. And maybe later we can check the king. So when we play bishop d3, we want to protect the pawn. That's also okay, but a bit like passive because the bishop block our d2 pawn. So it's a bit hard for us to develop the dark square bishop. Bishop c5, castle, take. Yeah, a lot of piece exchanges in the center. I think we are slightly better than our opponent because we have up one pawn. d3, bishop f4, protect the knight. It looks good. Or maybe we can just play knight f3 or knight c4 to avoid being targeted. f6. Okay, so in this case, we need to, that's a tricky one because if we move knight to g6, our knight will be captured by the pawn. If we move knight to f3, we'll lose the bishop. So bishop f4, actually, we have some problem with this move. I think the best move is knight c4. So f6, that's the very best move. And we are losing pieces. So we basically lost a minor piece. Queen h5. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely something we need to avoid because our queen is captured. So yeah, I think we can play maybe queen back to h5 or c4. Like either move is okay. So yeah, we lost the queen. Actually, we need to be aware of this like losing material. It's really yeah bad for the outcome. And the second one, we play black. And let me swap the position. Okay, we are attacking the queen. That's quite good. Take, and white has a very bad pawn structure. Knight e5. So, well, I think the purpose of knight e5 is we want to take the queen afterwards. But the problem is white is protecting the queen. The queen is protected, and we are losing a knight. So that's something yeah, that is some problem. We'll see. However, white doesn't take knight. I think the best move is taking our knight, or white can exchange our queen first and then take our knight. So we'll lose a knight. That's not good. So we take another pawn. Actually, we are losing the knight. I think we can just move the knight back or back to c5, avoid being taken. So we basically exchange the knight with 2 pawns. So 2 pawns worth like 2 points, and our knight is worth like 3.5. So that's not a good exchange in my opinion. So we are very aggressive. Attack knight. We want to take c2. Let's see. Take knight e5, b3. I think we can. Maybe it's good to play bishop c5. We can develop bishop with check the king and then castle. Make our king safe. Remember the principle in opening: developing pieces, controlling the center, and king safety. So we need to develop pieces very fast and make our king safe. And actually, the white king is quite exposed. We can attack that like once our king is safe. So b3, take queen c4. White wants to attack our rook and also attack our knight. Yeah, that's a problem. So that's a fork. So it's really hard for us to protect the both of these 2 pieces. Queen h4, yeah, we lost the queen. So this is something we need to be aware. I think the best move is queen d4. So we have a knight protect the queen, and so we are going to trade queens. So it is make our rook and the knight safe. So we lost a queen. That's we are, yeah, I think white is definitely winning. And yeah, this is something we need to be cautious. Sometimes we are very good at attacking our opponent. That's good, but it's as equally important. We need to be aware how our opponent attack our pieces. So in this case, we need to be aware at the other side of the board. So there is a queen actually controlling h4. So one thing I will ask myself every time I want to move the piece to a very aggressive position, I will ask myself, what would our opponent will play after this aggressive move? And I need to check the board, like basically all the pieces, not only looking at this part. We need to look at the whole chessboard, right? And we will find actually the queen is protecting h4. All right, let's move on. This game we also play black. It's good we are developing pieces. That's really good. I like that. Moving the king to the safe place very quickly. And we develop pieces. c4, c5, take. Okay, so yeah. So it's so we are copying moves from our opponents. And it's not always the case. That is correct. Because as we see, if we take the pawn and the white take the pawn, we cannot take d5 because the bishop, for example, white can take our bishop, and if we take the knight, it will win my knight, or maybe white just take our knight, take, and we take the pawn. If we take the pawn, so basically we cannot forever like copy the moves. It looks very safe, but after bishop h6, here we have problem. We cannot play bishop h3 because white is threatening a checkmate, and we will lose a rook. So we cannot always copy the moves from opponent. If we are like one move slower, if we play black. So yeah, e6, and we lost a pawn, and also lost b7. So we are slightly worse in opening. So we are developing pieces. That's good. We are developing pieces, but there's a problem that knight c4, there's a fork. And yeah, we win the d2 knight. That's a very good move. I like that. That's impressive. Really good. Okay, so here, yeah, taking the pawn, we will unfortunately lose the lose a rook. Take the queen. If take, yeah, we'll lose the rook. We need to calculate a bit more. So in this case, we can play, yeah, first of all, we can take the rook, right? Or maybe, yeah, just knight e5, developing pieces. Our rook is quite safe. We can win this rook first. So this is something we need to be cautious, not losing. Yeah, this is another problem. We're losing another rook. This is not good. Yeah, we resigned. Okay, so avoid losing pieces. So that's a very important lesson. Cool. The last one, we still play black. Then we have the 4 knights opening. Knight g5, castling, that's good. d6, we develop piece, yeah. So 94, so we exchange our knight worth 3.5 points with a 1-point pawn. That's not worth it, in my opinion. So the best move is h6. We can kick knight back, and we can play bishop e6, just developing pieces and offer some like piece exchange. And so white doesn't take our knight. That's interesting. And actually, you know what? We can take this knight. So we can win the g5 knight. Bishop take that. We can take that with our queen. We can win a piece. So if we take the c3, we doesn't win the knight. d5. Yeah, I think we need to take the pawn. Otherwise, we'll lose the bishop. And yeah, white should take our bishop. Rook e8. The f7 is becoming a bit weak. White should actually take the f7. Bishop f7. That's a check, and also white will win the rook. And a lot of piece exchanges. Okay, so rook d1, be aware of this bishop. And luckily, white doesn't notice that. Okay, yeah, now it realized there's a rook like hanging and being attacked. Yeah, so some summary. So we need to take care of pieces on chessboard and don't lose our pieces. Otherwise, it's really hard for us to win. So that's something I recommend as some reminder, a kind of reminder. Keep doing great.